Hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to do something in honor of the new moon on May 11th, 2021, and also give a little personal update. So we'll start there. And first of all, if you've been following or supporting the channel in any way, I just wanted to extend a thank you. It means a lot to me. And you also might have noticed that I didn't post anything in April, and that I also took a lot of posts down. I left the meditations up. I may be taking those down when I get some newer, cleaner versions to replace them, but I'm not entirely sure how this channel is going to move forward yet. I'm undergoing a deep transformative process, and so we'll see how. I'm not sure yet how it's going to shift around or what I'm going to be offering. So typically what I used to do was, if you've been following the channel, you're aware that I would tend to do tarot reading in honor of the full moon by the light of the moon every month for the collective. And, I'd try and do some kind of something meditative for the new moon. And I didn't put anything up in April because I have successfully completed a 60-hour certified yoga nidra teacher training with someone I consider to just be a master in the field, just an incredible human on earth. And the entire process is more incredible than I can even give words to. And so I'm still integrating it. I'm still going through it on my own deeper shift, and it honestly felt like a deep internal reset and wipe clean, and so that's actually what inspired me to take a lot and kind of like wipe the channel clean as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward. I'm not sure yet. There's a lot of unknowns, and like I said, I'm going through some pretty deep transformative internal shifts, and that's also being mirrored in my external reality. So this will actually be the last time I record from this location. So there's that element too of I don't know what it's going to look like yet. But I was really I did a long meditation and then was feeling inspired and thinking, I wanted to do something for the new moon, and I really wanted to do, and kind of hearing the cards calling me. I wanted to do something before I move, and the opportunity presented itself where I got quiet, so had the quiet and the space to do it. So here we are, and these are the first cards that wanted to come out. This is going to be a collective reading for the month of May and what we need to know moving forward. And I've said my prayer that this be in the highest good of all that tune in, and that any interference be removed and cleared so that I can be a clear channel to deliver any messages we may need to hear in honor of our own growth and evolution, learning, and I would even say lightheartedness. So let's start. That was kind of a long intro. But as I was shuffling a deck, I'd gotten all my cards out, ready to just grab on a whim, and the universe has your back deck. I guess I set the deck down up, like upright, and this card was there. So while I was doing something else, I looked over and saw this dragonfly and was like, that's it. That's what wants to come up right now. It I wouldn't say it winked at me, but it definitely had like a resonance. So part of the message in May for us all right now is to trust our direction, trust the universe with our direction, and trust we're being guided, and have this knowingness that we're being guided. And simultaneously to loosen our grip. So the two go hand in hand, right? In order to loosen control and trying to manage and predict, it's we have to have trust, right? So trust is a huge, I would say, theme, or that there's a potency in that word that I've definitely been working with lately, that I feel is definitely a part of the message. And then there's also a lot of air energy in these two cards. We have a dragonfly, which flies through the air, is also normally near water, and it kind of looks like she's falling through this portal, and there's light shining off the water. So there's an interesting correlation there. And I believe the spirit symbolism of a dragonfly can also be an ancestor coming to visit you, keeping an eye on you, guiding you. And I may need to double check this, but I think they fly sideways and forwards, but not backwards. So it's this idea of this message of no matter what direction you're moving in, you're not going backwards. And trust you're on your path. Loosen your grip and let a little bit of grace in. So I would say that's the overarching message for the start of the new moon, moving into the rest of the month of May. Also, just a little reminder that new moons are a great time to get quiet and be intentional. And if you do anything ritualistic, it's a good time for that too. So it's a Taurus new moon, which is an earth sign. It's ruled by Venus. Kind of that the harmonics of nature is happening. For some of you born in the 80s, this new moon might be around Chiron. So there might be a little soft ache. If you're feeling some wound stuff come up, that's okay. But don't worry about that too much. We're not going down that road. So I just always like to mention it. Whatever feels you're having, let them come up and fall through. Just fall through. So I actually want to read the reading for, which deck is that? My Starseed deck. I feel it's significant. So we're cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the comings and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. Food, substances, relationships, the job, people-pleasing. The things we cling to can cover up our most vulnerable space. That's the part we're most afraid to leave empty. It's the part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us, or clinging to it for fear of it not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us that whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control. Release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace to enter. To surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay, but you can be sure that what's for you will find you. And you'll breathe a little easier knowing you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. So some really potent message in there. Like it leaves me a little choked up. I really needed to hear that. I really needed to hear all of that. So maybe you did too. And if I do something intentional later, I really like that. Surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Felt like a little light go off when I read that. And I just want to read again that you can be sure that what is for you will find you. So have faith in that. It's that, is that quote, like what the Rumi quote, what you're seeking is also seeking you. I don't know why that has such a vibrational resonance at the moment, but it really does, is this like reminder. Like even let it find you, right? Like you don't have to necessarily go looking. Like know that what's yours is yours, and what is truly yours cannot be lost. I know when I hear that, it always brings me such clarity and like, I know that. But it's so easy to just lose it along the way. For me anyways, in my experience. So, and it's just this theme of relying. You don't have to rely on your own strength. You can surrender to the grace of life. And you can trust that, you're being guided. I just feel like there was a lot there. I could end this here if you need to get about your evening or your day whenever you're listening to this. This message is kind of timeless, and yet it's also relevant. Feel free to pause here and just let that soak in or absorb, let it land, or strike you however it needs to. I am going to pull a few more cards. So I invite you to just breathe and center as I shuffle and get recentered myself. Clear guidance going forward in May for all of us that are tuned in. And right away, the Eight of Pentacles came out, so it's like lovely yellow light there's something that tangibly wants to manifest. That yellow ribbon, symbolizing the light of our being, wanting to come through. And also the Nine of Swords, so reversed. Which can be a little, Nine of Swords is a little treacherous. And yet in this deck, I just still feel like it's this idea that there's a peace in the heart that cannot be harmed, no matter what the external circumstances might be. have a whole flurry of cards that came out here. Okay, the lovely Temperance card. How do we stay neutral and remember that inner peace in our heart as we work towards and focus on how we want to move forward in the physical? And the Justice fell out with the Temperance card, so it's pretty strong. And again, now we have the heart, right? So I was saying that in this deck, that card reminds me of the inner peace in our own heart that's never touched by the external reality of pain. So then we have the heart here mirroring that. And how do we stay lighthearted? How do we stay tempered enough to stay lighthearted? Okay, and then the Seven of Wands reversed. So, maybe feeling a little tired or confused, and even confused about the direction. There can be some lack of focus here. So don't let insecurities keep you from accessing this central channel of inner strength as you're transforming the butterfly. Some flight, guidance, direction, right? So there's definitely feels like there can definitely be some pretty heavy energy happening, that we're being asked to stay neutral and in touch with our center, our truth, our heart. Trust the guidance. I picked up the deck, everyone but that card, and that was laying there. So Four of Wands reversed introduces this like lovely purple ribbon. The violet being indicative of the ajna and the third eye. Four Wands reversed though is like we've got these like reversed wands, right, where there's like some sort of structural element that's possibly blocking the third eye or the crown chakra, feeling safe and secure, of manifesting what we want. And I also always feel like in this deck where it brings the, you know, the Justice being your actions are gonna like, do your actions reflect being able to have a light heart or not? Kind of that idea of like source sees all, whether anyone else sees it, like, you know, it's between you and your heart. So sometimes for the Four of Wands it says like a communication difficulty that you need to have, but I almost feel like it needs to be between you and your heart. How can you listen to your heart? And then we have the Strength card. With the barky dog in the background. Sorry about that. So I feel like as I was presenting those questions, this healing bear energy came out. And again, the strength card is also, even though it's a bear in this image, it's Leo and the heart. So again, lots of heart energy coming through here. Find the strength and courage in your own heart. That the infinite part of you that cannot be touched by the external pokey stabbies. Wow, so lots of how to stay centered in the heart this month. And then, oh, my little buddy, the little sloth hermit in this deck is really cute. So it's okay to take some time and go within to connect to. It's cute. He's like hiding a little star by his heart too. So the light in your heart. Maybe necessary to be a little more internal or withdrawal in order to shine some light on that, or just a reminder to slow down. Make some time for your heart. Make some time to have a conversation, a difficult conversation, either with yourself or, someone in your reality, having the courage and the strength to do that, and being able to stay neutral. Okay, there's all this noise that's starting to happen, so I'm going to take that as an indication to not have this reading go on for a long time. I'm going to pull a few more cards, and then, can you hear that? There's a lawnmower. Okay, we have the Six of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. Some gentle feminine energy along with some stable flow coming through. Six of Cups can also be nostalgic. Wow, give me a second. I'm gotten really distracted suddenly. I feel like that Queen of Pentacles is a good sign from the first Eight of Pentacles that came out. And just this remembering to nurture your inner creativity to find some flow. And this, I just feel like the elephants are just being gentle, and the bear healing energy. So whatever's going on, just remember to be gentle. Stay connected to your heart. And this card is also saying, you might be feeling tested this month, or running out of patience, or conflict is coming up, but the Five of Wands is reminding you to focus on your true self. Come back to your body, mind, and breath. I feel like I'm tested right now with noise suddenly showing up and interrupting me, so we're just gonna keep moving. I don't really want to like re-record this. But come back to your center, come back to your heart, come back to your light, come back to your innocence and creativity. Neutrality will aid your flight moving forward. It's okay if you're tired, and stay in touch with, just stay as heart-centered as possible. I feel no matter what the conflict or challenge is, there's like a part of your heart that is untouched by all of it. So stay as connected to that as possible. And also with that Six of Cups, just maybe some reflection, nostalgia, but just remember to let, it's interesting, right? It's under the heart. So let some joy from your heart pour through. Let some lightness of being come up to remember the lightness of being, right? You have this like soft little tiny fuzzy growth on the stick there, right? Like, so just that lightness of being that's pointing to the feather, and let the emotions of the heart flow and let go. Slow down and get into your own, even he's got a little bit of joy, like this hidden joy. So like, where is your hidden joy, and how do you lean into that, right? How do you create that? How do you manifest that in a way that requires not only strength and some courage, right? Even to let go a little bit and trust you're being guided in this bigger picture. But just also find healing. I often think of like a big bear hug, healing in flight, blue skies ahead. Just kind of, it's like a lot going on. And coming back to this, I guess coming back to trusting your heart and your own infinite nature, no matter what. And of course, this is the card like sticking to my hand. Surrender. So with that, may you be well, and what did I say at the beginning? Oh, did I put the book away? I did put the book away. That surrender is exactly saying oh, I can't find it now. Surrendering to the grace of life. Breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life, and to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. So with that, I'll leave you with that message, and see you next time. Appreciate, love, and support all your feedback and comments. New moon blessings. and many, many blessings as you move forward in May. See you on the other side of I don't know yet.